What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. So I had a conversation yesterday that I thought it would be interesting to create a video on it because there are some people that are very worried about this topic, and that topic is the US dollar collapsing. We've seen other currencies that have gone through that, and it's not the best situation, but to see something like the US dollar that is accepted everywhere, right? When no matter what country you go to, you're able to spend the US dollar because it is so easily accepted everywhere, to going to places where it may not be accepted because of what the US dollar represents, right? Now, before I get into this, I wanted to talk about this, just have a discussion, and I also want to hear your guys' opinion down in the comment section. I know the comment section tends to be flooded with a bunch of spam comments and people that are trying to scam you and all that stuff, and I don't want that to happen, but still comment. I have a way of filtering through all subscribers, and I will try and answer a lot of the questions that come up because I want to be able to talk to you guys. I want to be able to respond. And that's something that I'm trying to work on, especially with all the spam and scams and all that stuff that's down there. So know that I will never ask you for anything if there are people that are impersonating me, and don't give out your seed phrase or anything to any people that, are in the comment section. So anyways, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more videos like this one. Also, make sure you guys check out some of the links down below. It does help out the channel. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter at Perry8K, you can follow me over there. And don't forget about my Patreon and other links that are in the description as well. But this definitely was an interesting topic, right? It wasn't really the longest conversation, but it definitely is something that is a continued conversation because people don't know the answer to it, right? It just creates fear within people that are holding the US dollar, people that put a lot of their faith in the US dollar, people that hold cash. But there's ways around it. And I see a lot of the bigger investors that are finding ways to get around what could be, even if it might not happen, there's still a chance that it could happen. So what they're putting their money into in order to kind of fight that a little bit. So anyways, let's go into this article right here because there's a ton of articles that are out there on US dollar collapsing. And I wanted to go into this article here because it breaks down a couple of pieces that we probably need to understand, right? Where a currency collapses and, just doesn't have a value anymore or has a fraction of what the value was before. US dollar being worth so much, but now the euro being worth more than the dollar, and seeing a lot of other currencies that are starting to go from being like here to here, US dollar and whatever that currency is, to kind of getting even, if not taking over, because the US dollar is not really performing, let's say, the way that we hope for it to go. But just to get into a little bit of an understanding of where we were with the dollar. Typically, you have something that backs your currency, right? Whether it's backed by gold, backed by coal, backed by diamond, backed by silver, backed by, oil. You're backed by something. And the U.S. was backed by gold for a while. And now I believe we're not backed by anything. So anything that we print is just, decreasing the value of what the dollar is, right? Because we're not backing it by like getting more gold. Like if we had more gold, we can print more money. It makes sense. But if we don't have anything backing it, we're just printing money that could be worthless. Now, let's get into these things here. So you can have a number of reasons, right? Hyperinflation is one of them. When hyperinflation occurs, every dollar becomes less valuable. $10 might buy you a 12 case of Pepsi today. And then tomorrow, that same $10 only buys you 6 Pepsis. The currency's value becomes less and less, and this can create a spiral that ends up in becoming practically worthless. So you've seen this happen in Zimbabwe in the early 2000s. Next would be political instability. While not something we expect for the U.S. government, can be overthrown when there's a military coup, a war, or another event resulting in political upheaval. The country's currency can often be a casualty. High debt. Many countries have high debt levels these days, but this is all relative to strength of the underlying economy. When the country has a very high debt and shrinking economy, this can also cause a flight of assets, and a collapse of the currency. These are just a few examples. Others include trade imbalances, loss of status as a global reserve currency, natural disasters or war, all of them related to instability within the country, as the currency is reflective of the global financial system's trust in that country. So obviously, you can have multiple factors that could go into a currency's collapse. But mainly what we're worried about is more on the hyperinflation side, right? Where you see, more that's being printed versus, anything to back it. And we're just printing money, creating debt for ourselves. And basically, it's kind of a combination between the two of hyperinflation and high debt, because we continue to print and then we're owing to ourselves, not just to other countries. So that's where the value of that dollar really becomes a problem. Now, is it something we should be worried about? I think we should. Can we see the other side of it? Yes, because we have a lot of wealthy businesses, global business or revenue drivers, right? Where we're seeing money that's flowing through not just the US market, but also the UK market, also, Mexico's market, also Canada's market, also everywhere, right? We know that we have money flowing in these businesses that are US businesses that are, generating revenue outside of the US. So it's just something where we know if worse comes to worse and that does happen, you can see money that's flowing into it and probably pay off debt a lot quicker if worse comes to worst. But there's definitely some issues here, right? If something like this happens, where do we go from here? If we see a collapse in the currency, where do we go? So some people are like, hey, maybe I should invest in other currency or convert to other currency before things like that happens. You have the wealthiest people in the world that are starting to own property. And I think property is probably the best way to do this, right? If you own a lot of property, that creates wealth depending on, how the economy is going, depending on, how many people are looking for houses and all of this other stuff. If you own property, it's probably the best source of wealth that you can have, because you own land. That people can always buy. Yes, it may be worth less, but it's not going to be worthless, if that makes sense. But then you can also invest in other forms of currency. And what my belief is, and since I talk about cryptocurrency, is that we're going to be flowing towards a digital era, right? And I think that's where we should be moving either way, is that we have a world currency to where maybe the US doesn't control everything. And, you have a certain cryptocurrency that really controls majority of the transactions that go through in various companies, right? If you're buying on Amazon, you're buying with, let's say, XRP, right? If you're buying on you're buying Tesla, you're buying with XRP. Maybe you're buying with just that one position, and we don't know what is going to be the world currency. Maybe it could be Ethereum, right? Where Ethereum is now becoming deflationary. We're seeing it costs less, right? In order to, we're not mining it. You're validating the chain a different way. So it could be Ethereum that could take over that spot. It could be Bitcoin. That's what, a lot of people are looking for out of Bitcoin. That's the main purpose, is to become the world currency. So are we looking more towards that side of things? And now everything is going to become a digital space, and the US has to just adopt, or has to adapt to what it is. And I don't think they will find a way to adapt to it, because everyone, in our government is very, very old and doesn't even understand cryptocurrency. Or any type of technology for that matter. So I don't know. And this is not a right or left type of thing. This is just overall their average age is very, very old, and they don't want to change the way that we've done things for many years. So anyways, I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to have a discussion because I definitely think that it is something that people worry about, the US dollar collapsing. Where are we going to go from here when it comes to currencies? Are we just going to invest in other things, collectibles, gold, silver, property, cryptocurrency? What are you going to do? I want to know what your opinion is in the comment section. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more videos like this one. Also, Make sure you check out some of the links down below. It does help out the channel. But I'm going to get out of here and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.